And you might wonder, what are sand dunes doing in Antarctica? It's not the first place in the world that you expect to go to find sand dunes. It's not the first place in the world that you expect to go to find sand dunes. It's not the first place in the world that you expect to go to find sand dunes. It's not the first place in the world that you expect to go to find sand dunes. Antarctica is the coldest, windiest and driest continent on Earth. Driest.
It will be driest. Driest. More far you goes to the more land. Does claiming that NASA does not carry out any space flight assumes that it does not fly distant beyond the Antarctic? No. Or it is showing a complete lack of sense of analysis. And even a pushed sense of gatekeeping. No one can claim to become the first to discover that the Earth is bigger. NASA in its facts demonstrates that it already finds more. A simple look at the general structuring of the flat Earth proves that by the Antarctic alone, the farther you go, the lighter the ice, the more you will reach this stage of drought. The notorious difference between the place where you are, and the place further, is the absence of seasons, water, and everything within the perimeter of life. To pretend that these photos are made in Arizona, is the most funny and simplistic thing that can be heard from a person supposed to believe that the Earth is flat. And all the more pretend and shout on the roofs that there is more land. And to pretend even more that these photos are made essentially in the north, is really to take people for cons. But we can see in this aspect that control is present in every aspect of analysis of the subject. The people of the flat earth claim to know something, but we realize that they lack a lot of discernment. Or the goal is to ensure that you never reach the required discernment. And it is for the majority of the time what we look at and see. Each model presented until now has been the object only of disinformation and a fabrication of lack of discernment. But in the context of moreland we have also seen the presence of a hidden, or implied will, to never be able to say that there is more land in the facts. For to demonstrate in fact that there is more land, is to include NASA in the knowledge of the subject. The manufacture of rockets to propel a telecommunication device or even topographic photography by the NASA is a real fact, in the situation of flat Earth, that there is more Earth still. You, alleged magistrates of the flat Earth, if you imagine for a second that NASA knows nothing, and amuses itself to launch fireworks to explode them in the sky for the simple pleasure of the eyes, assuming that they do not go into space, and so would not go anywhere, you really take people for cons. And from then on are radically subject to gatekeeping. You made the mistake of saying that there was more land, because now people know there is more land. And prove the more land situation from NASA itself. Needless to try to catch the error by any absurd rhetoric of an unnecessary desert in your country. To ensure that it is the desert of Arizona, or any desert within the known Earth, is to show a stunning intellectual desert. Because it has to be. Moron.